Welcome back, everyone, to Capes Corner Creation. Bringing in New Year. Hope everybody had a pleasant and happy New Year. It's been a difficult 2020, so I hope for everyone 2021 inspires us to do better, be better, smile, and be happy. There's been a lot going on in my world, but still I find joy in something every day just because we need to do that. So before I begin, I would like to just mention the tragedy that we had here in Nashville over the holiday season, and for all those who were involved. I hope that they're, finding peace in the situation because it was terrible. So, anyway, just send them a prayer your way. That way, prayer for them, their way, and keep them in your thoughts. It's always a rough thing when it happens on the holiday, never mind it happens at all. So anyway, moving on. I just want to mention that because it was a devastation here, and as in everywhere around the world, there are things happening like that all the time. So we have to bring something into our own world each day to help us, survive these things and be stronger. But anyway, so today, starting the new year, I would like to work harder on my craft, and so I thought I would start with making better organizing skills because, this craft is so disorganized at times, and that's not a bad thing. It just happens because we all get to cutting and pasting and looking for this and looking for that, and next thing you know, you have this big pile on your desk, and it's like, oh my goodness. So it's like, let's try and find the scissors, again and again. So I'm starting with small projects, and this is one of them, making a journal to keep some ephemera digiprints and some handmade items in this little journal so that the tiny stuff doesn't get lost and you're not always looking for it. I start out putting it in a bag and I put it over here, and then I take it out and I use it and I put it over there, and the next thing you know, I can't find it at all. So this is a good idea. And I also thought that this is a great idea for beginners because you don't have a lot of stuff, and this teaches you how to make the journal and the good practice, putting your signatures in. And I do have a video on part 1 and part 2. I'm making the book and installing the signature. So I will try and link that below. But you can always just look at my videos and find that. And so you can get that part done. This, however, is not a fancy journal. There's no decorating. There's no really, it's very raw. I have used old book pages that I probably wouldn't use in a journal. I use a little washi tape here to secure the spine a little bit. I just use some embroidery thread to install my signatures. There is 4 signatures. I put a couple little pockets on the front for some taller things, and basically that was it. On the inside, I made the book just old pieces that I probably wouldn't use in a journal. Some old, this bright yellow neon color. And I might have used it here or there, but it was extra, so I thought I'd just put that on there for some more secure. May add a pocket or 2 on here. Haven't got that far yet. I just wanted to show you the basic book so that you could use this idea and develop it as you need it, as you see fit. So I'm going to show you a couple things that I did in here. One, I put all the same paper. I used all white because I didn't want to use any of my specialty papers or any of my, paper that I've dyed, hand-dyed papers. I just wanted it simple, and and so that I wasn't using up those things in my storage journal. I used white paper and white cardstock. I had an abundance of that, so I just used that. But you could substitute these little pockets with junk mail, you know, any kind of heavier paper that you find, and you don't. It could have things on it, it could have words on it. Doesn't matter, because this is just for storage. You flip it upside down. Usually, they're not. Let's see if I have a piece here. Let me see. I thought I had one. Let me see. Let's see. Of course, you know, when I want a piece of junk mail, you can't find one, but I don't know. Okay, here. Alright. Okay, so just some old box or cardstock. You could, you know, they're big enough, you can cut and use those. It doesn't have to be, you know, white cardstock, could be anything. Just flip it upside down and use a piece of old box or cardboard or anything that gives us a little bulk. And I cut them different sizes. I put narrow ones and wider ones, and then I put the narrow ones on top of the wider ones to make a double pocket. Because sometimes you have these tiny things that you don't want to lose. You stick them in there, and then the bigger pockets over here. So I haven't finished this either, because it is the new year. Oh, and pockets going this way and this way, because I've been a little busy over the holiday season with all that's going on. Just before the holiday, my husband had a little surgery, so that kind of slowed me down, and then I had to finish my Christmas gifts, and I make most of them, so that got me very busy. And then, of course, our internet was a little wonky, and even yesterday my internet was weird, and this morning. So I can never count on a perfect time to work. So I'm hoping right now, it's been good all afternoon, so I thought this is a perfect time to get back to work. I'm going to show you, I cut a piece of this cardstock, and of course white on white's hard to see, but I'm just going to let's see if I can put a piece of paper under there so you can see. How about this? I'll just put this so you can see what I'm doing here. So I'm just taking this piece and gluing it to the page. I just want to make sure it's not too big. And, you know, cutting it a little bit small is better so your glue doesn't run over to the next page or anything. So I'm just going to glue this down, and that's all there is to building this storage journal, because you can make it as fancy or plain as you wish. You can add more pockets or less. You could do double pages, you know, if you glue 2 pages together for side pockets, and I'll show you that, and I'll do one of those. So see, you have this pocket right here. And then, I don't want to use the middle of that. So if we go a couple pages down, and you could take and do like this. You could fold this over. Let's just do this here. And then you could glue down on either side and have this big page pocket. And then you could still slip something tidy in here if you just pin down on these 2 here. So we'll go ahead and do that just so that you can see. And I'm sure I could find something to put in there. we get carried away with our supplies. You know, I'm really trying to use what I have right now. I don't have a lot of supplies because I don't have a big space. So if I got too much stuff, then I wouldn't know where to put it. I'd have to be putting it, you know, out in the garage, and that's not going to help me. So let's do this. And then over here, I should have filled my glue bottle today, but oh well. And then we'll just come down like this. There we go. Now, let's see. Let's see what we have for there. See, now that can slide right in there. We won't use that for there, but, and of course, over here we got plenty of room to put things in. The other thing I wanted to show you was the bags. Now, I really like these clear bags. You can get them when you, say if you've purchased some stickers, they usually come in a clear bag, and you can just trim the top off and put a marker on it. I have some. Let me see if I can get one out here. Okay, so this particular bag I bought something, and it wasn't really big, so the top had torn when I opened it, but then the bottom, of course, I usually have a sticky side that opens up so you can get your product out of the bag, and then you can just re-stick it. So that was a great bag. The top of the bags usually have a little gadget on there that hangs on the shelf, you know, a little hole, so it hangs on there. So we wanted to take that part off, but anyway, I try and save as much of the bags that I can. So we put our little ephemera in here. Now these are pictures of birds. Pretty sure these are come from Pam at the Paper Outpost. I have several of her digis, and so I like to store them in the clear bag so that when you open the book, put them this way here. So when you open the book, you can see pretty much what's in your bag, and you know what you have there. I love that. What I was finding earlier, before I did this book, was that I'd put them in darker or closed bags or white envelopes, and then I couldn't see what was in them. So I was constantly digging through. This is a much faster process. These are just pieces of cardstock that I save for making small, you know, journal cards or tags or something of that sort. So that can go right in there. So as you store your supplies, you'll find them easier. And I have, you know, prepared some bags so we can just slip things in. Let's see here what we have. So I have some more bags. So I have more birds. So where do we put those birds? So we have birds here and birds here. And then we have owls. We can put those here. Maybe I'll put these over here. Put these birds. And then I have horses and a goat. Animals kind of all together. Butterflies, we can put the butterflies up here near the birds. And tuck this one down a little bit lower, put this one up a little higher. And we have people. We can put the people together. I like to keep my, you know, I like to think that I could organize things, but, you know, I'm not the greatest at that. But, you know, some of us are a little too, I don't know, you know, I hate labels, but unfortunately, some of us are just a little too ADD to have too much organization. I guess, you know, I always said I wish I was a little OCD so I could manage things better sometimes. We have airplanes. As you can see, you know, you'll find your groove with your journals as you develop your supplies. Now, I'm already seeing how I don't want that one there. I like this, the words over here. I'd like the double pocket because I have some bigger words, and I just like to slide those right in there. See? And I have that storage. So there's my words. These are little clocks, and so see how that works. And I really think that you could make this at any size, bigger and smaller, and so that you can grab a journal instead of digging through the drawers or a box or whatever you have there. I'm finding this much more productive to know that I can just grab this book and look for something that I need. I need a bird, or I need a flower. Let's see what else we have here. Well, we just had Christmas, so I'm going to put Christmas in the back of the book because we just did Christmas, so we don't need that stuff right now. So I had made some journaling cards. I've made them little ornaments, so we can just slide that in there. This is a bunch of digital prints of Christmas. We'll put that there. We'll add another journaling card, Christmas tree. I'll put that in there because we don't need that right now. So see, that can go into the back of the book, all the little Christmas things. And of course, these little packages that I made for Christmas, we can just pin them right on because those have those hidden paper clips on one side, so we can, you know, slip those right down over the page. Oops, let me get, if I can grab it. There we go. And see, you can just put them this way or that way right on your page. Over here, let's find a double page. Here we go. And we have little, the little clusters that you might have or make. You can just slip those in this small pocket over here. Let's see if we have another one. Well, they do have more. I do have some more bags, so you can just, you know, however it works for you. I'm just throwing them in here right now, but I'm sure as I work with it, I'll know which ones I go to more often. Probably would keep those all together. These are small. These are little license plates, vintage license plates, and vintage stamps. So it just, those are tiny. So I'll just keep those together here. And then, like I said, on the front of the book, I don't think that one's going to work there, but we'll work on that. On the front of the book, I left two pockets so that you have thicker or taller items that you might want to slide in there, so they don't get wrinkled or crushed in your pages or slip out or get lost. So those tuck in there nicely, like that. This one's thick, so we'll go at the back and we'll add some more. There we go. And like this one, a little bit tall. Oh, and then I had this extra tag that I used, some of these for gift wrapping tags, and then I used some of them for the journals, and there's writing space on the back, and then you can also use them as gifts or ornaments and hang them on your tree, or use them as your book dangle. And if you turn this over, let's see, move this camera up a little bit, and let's just dangle them on the back for storage. You can do that too, except it'd be good if I put it on so you could see it, you know. Sometimes, oh my goodness, sometimes my hands are not working. Okay, there. So then you've got extra things that you make that you can just leave right on the back of your storage journal. You can put your handmade items, like I have made these little clusters, and then these little pockets that you can put a small journaling card inside there. And if we slip those in this way, they stay put pretty nicely. Let me move that. There we go. Let's slip those in there. So now we have little clusters. We have our words and our cutout words, animals, birds, butterflies, horses, flowers, you know, your airplanes. Oh, and here I make a lot of crocheted items just because I crochet like a maniac. So some things you just can't stop doing, and that's one of them. But it serves a huge purpose now for the journal, because little did I know that I would ever get involved in journal making, but my crochet skills have come in handy to make little bits for the journals. You know, I make edging for the pages. I make flowers to put in clusters to add to, you know, the covers of books or inside book. Little pieces that you can make these little clusters over here. See, you can add this lace a crocheted piece to a cluster. So I try and make a little piece or two every week so that I can add to my collection. I've been busy with another project, which is a lot of crocheting, but it's not something that I would do often because it takes a lot of time. But it's a request, so that's I will show you that when it's complete. It's going to take a while, so you won't be seeing that anytime soon. Anyway, so those are my little bits of crocheted pieces that I keep in here, and put that in there. And then we have, of course, our Christmas things in the back, and you can organize it by, you can organize this by season, the 4 seasons, or you can organize it by months, because you'd have your Christmas stuff in December, and you'd have your, Halloween in October, and such. So, you could organize this any which way you would like, so you know how to use it. To works for you, it suits your needs and your items. Not everybody has the same items, not everybody has the same ideas, but I just wanted to give you the basic book, really, the journal, the working journal, so that when you are building a journal and working a journal, you can just grab this book, pull out what you need, and there you have it. Now, I don't always, let's say, have a cluster, particularly like this is black polka dot with the red bow, and I'm working on a pink journal, so that's not going to work. But you never know. If you have a few, if you have a bunch, then you could put them in a bag and tuck them in a pocket, or make a bigger pocket like we did earlier here today. Now, if I remember where I found it. Well, we made that big pocket here, and you could put in a whole, bunch of those little clusters, or use a bag, put them in the bag and slide them in there. You can write notes. That's the other thing I wanted to tell you. On your working journal, don't be afraid to write notes. What you have in this page, I have, words, large words, small words, cursive, printing, whatever kind of stuff you have in there, you can write it down. And over here also, you can use this part to write notes, and also, encourage yourself for, using it and being a working journal. You can add or take away anything that's not working for you. Make pockets here. You can use cloth. You can use, instead of paper here or cardstock, you could use some kind of ribbon. You could make belly bands, taking a piece of ribbon as such. And you could add ribbon over your cardstock, staple at the top and the bottom, or glue it, and then use it to tuck things in as well. Sliding things in underneath there, and or on your pages. You don't have to always use it on the side. This is just an idea. Let's go to a blank page, and then you could do double belly bands if you secured it at the top and the bottom here, and then again across the middle. You could tuck things in underneath the other way and this way, and you'd have sections. So there's always things you can find to do here with this working journal. I really, am just trying to give the beginner an idea on how to sort and separate and organize your supplies as you become familiar with what you have, and it's nice to be able to see it instead of having to go find it and dig for it or cut it out, spend an afternoon cutting out your small pieces, storing them in little bags. You can use bags that you can't see through, but then you just mark your page and what's in there so you can find it. So you have to use your imagination and build your working journal as you see fit, but I just want to give you an idea on what you can do with a journal that stores your items. I hope that it was beneficial for you today. as we move forward with the new year, you'll probably see this fill up and see me grabbing it as we work on the journals over the next few months. So I hope that was a fun and good idea, and I hope you enjoyed my tutorial today. So I'm going to let you go, and this is Cape at Cape's Corner Creation, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.